Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 109 of the regular season, where the Astros lose 4-1 to the Cleveland Guardians. And I think we're in one-taker territory because I don't feel like staying up particularly late to talk about a game that just isn't really worth talking about. The Astros didn't look great. The pitching was not great from Luis Garcia, and I'll talk about that in a moment, and then the offense was just straight up bad. One run of offense is not going to win you much of anything unless you have a pitcher that throws, or pitching staff that throws a shutout. So one run, kind of in garbage time in the ninth inning, isn't going to get you a whole heck of a lot. Now, let's talk about Luis Garcia, because that's really where the whole story is. 4 runs given up tonight in 6 innings. That looks bad on paper. 9 hits looks terrible on paper. And I don't think he was great. I'm not going to say that. I'm not even going to wager to throw it out there that he was good. I'm going to say I don't think he was terrible. Because, yeah, the 9 hits, 4 runs in 6 innings looks god-awful. 5 strikeouts to 1 walk is a good ratio. That's a solid ratio. You can also throw in 14 swings and misses. He had good stuff tonight. The 7 hard hit balls also tells you that it wasn't perfect, but I don't think it was awful from Luis Garcia. I saw some people start to say that after this performance, he just shouldn't be on the rotation at all, and I think that's a bit far, but he's not been Garcia-like as of late, and that's not wonderful, especially heating up towards October, but I think we can pump the brakes, because this is not a hit the panic button start for me for Luis Garcia. It's not good, but it's not pump the brakes quite yet. And the best analogy I can make to this, mainly because I was making brownies as I actually watched the game, just because you have the right ingredients to a good game for Luis Garcia, or the right ingredients for a bad game for Luis Garcia, doesn't mean you're gonna make it properly. 5 strikeouts to 1 walk and no home runs is going to build you a good FIP, but it doesn't mean you're going to have a good performance. And on that note as well, 9 hits and 4 earned runs in 6 innings usually builds you a terrible game, but I also don't think that's true. It was a sort of a wash, if I had to say it, for Luis Garcia for this evening. Phil Maton would come in and he would look fine. Will Smith would come in and get a strikeout. No, thank you. I'm going to have to edit something. Well, it's fine. I'm going to put that in there anyway. And offensively, you can just kind of gesture to the whole lineup. 0 for 11 from our top 3 hitters is usually going to be the issue. Diaz had a multi-hit game, also airmailed to pitch. And by the way, I will mention that a little bit for Luis Garcia. If Diaz just swallows the ball, instead of being a run home and 2 men in scoring position, it would have been the bases loaded, which, hey, maybe Garcia, under the pressure, gives up a grand slam. That's certainly possible, and then more runs come around to score, an extra run comes around. That's a possibility. Or maybe he dials it in and strikes the guy out. We don't know, and it's a shame. I honestly, with that error, I don't know how those runs are earned, if I'm being quite frank. It was a little bit strange to me, but he airmailed that pitch. He had a good night offensively, but, the defense was iffy. I will also say, Bregman had made a few really nice snags tonight defensively, so that's a positive for Bregman. He also had a walk, a base hit. 1 of 6 for the offense tonight. Cries. But just not a wonderful game, and I'll also throw it out there. Jake Myers had a solid evening, gathering a pair of hits. Just overall, sort of bleh for the game tonight. So we look to tomorrow, where it's actually an early game, 12:05 Eastern, 11:05 Central. Very early game. I have not seen an 11 o'clock start time for a game in quite some time. The Cleveland Guardians are going to send Tristan McKenzie to the mound, and we're going to send the coffee man, Christian Javier, which means I'm obviously excited for the game. So that's all I have to say for the evening. I'll be here tomorrow to talk about it, and that's all I have to say. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Stros.